Good afternoon, everyone. In the first unit, we have learnt about the business environment, business organization, basic things required, and also business economics introductory part we have finished. Now we come to the second unit. It starts with the elasticity of demand. The word elasticity has to be understood carefully because you people are all engineering. You know, elasticity means when you stretch a rubber, the stretch requires pressure, right? The pressure is the explanatory variable, and the impact of stretching the rubber expanding, we can call it as a dependent variable. So how much pressure you are applying to stretch one rubber is directly related to the rubber's expanding capacity. So we can call it as the rubber expansion as the responsiveness of the rubber for a given pressure, whether rubber or elastic, whatever it is. So when you pull a rubber, how much pressure you are applying will have impact on the expansion of the rubber. So we can call that as elasticity from our point of view. When you take this as an elasticity, we are going to discuss about the elasticity of demand. What is demand? Demand in simple terms, we can say willingness to buy coupled with ability to buy. So one customer who is ready to buy, who is interested to buy, must have capacity to pay. If he cannot afford to buy, I may have a dream to buy the Taj Mahal, but I don't have capacity. So there is no demand for Taj Mahal to purchase. Only when I have capacity to buy the Taj Mahal, then only the demand for Taj Mahal comes. So the demand is always called as need, want, and ability to buy. The need is a basic deprivation. That means well, you need an urge. The urge will come. It is a purely requirement, and that should convert into a specific product. Let us say you are hungry. That is, unless you are hungry, you don't want to eat anything. So hungry can be called as need, and whether I would like to eat a samosa, whether I would like to eat the pani puri, whether I would like to eat a chapati, what a specific satisfier I am desiring is the specific want. We can call it as want. When it is coupled with ability to pay, it is called demand. So that demand concept we are talking. And demand is always a function of something, a function of price, a function of income, a function of substitute products, a function of complementary products. So what is the price of a substitute? What is the price of a complementary product? What is the price of what is the income that the customer is earning will have impact on demand. These things we are going to learn in this particular subject. So when we say elasticity of demand, in the economic terminology, we would say the change in the quantity of full screen. Okay. Kindle. Yeah. Change in the
close just going to full screen, full screen. Pen is gone, pen is gone, pen, pine, arrow. ఇక్కడ అది వచ్చేది బ్లాక్ రెడ్ తీసుకోండి రెడ్ తీసుకోండి ఇంకోసారి ప్రెస్ చేయండి ఇంకోసారి యా బ్లాక్ అయింది మళ్ళా
Yeah, change in the quantity demanded of a product due to a change in the price. So there are two variables. Change in the quantity demanded due to the change in its price. So due to the change in price means the change in price is the independent variable we take, and the change in the quantity demanded we take it as a dependent variable. So the change in the quantity of demanded is a function of change in the price. So when there is a change in the price, there will be change in the demand. How much change? That means sensitiveness or the responsiveness. The sensitivity of the demand for a given change in the price can be defined as elasticity of demand. So let us look to that part, and you find that you have different kinds of elasticity of demand. We say perfectly elastic, relatively elastic, elasticity of demand equal to the utility oblique unity, relative inelastic, perfectly inelastic. These are the 5 popular kinds of elasticity we can say. See, these are all terminology which comes by the degree of responsiveness. If the degree of responsiveness is 100%, we say it is price elasticity is perfect. And if the degree of elasticity is less than 100, but more than 50, we say it is relatively elastic. When it is equal, that means 1:1 ratio. For every $1 or 1 rupee change in the price, you have $1 worth of quantity demanded. We say it is equal. Then we say unity or utility. Whereas if your degree of response of the demand for a given price is lesser than the change in price, we say relatively inelastic. What do you mean by that? The price increase in the petrol, let us say, is around 10 rupees. But the change in price in steel may be less than 1 rupee. So that we call it as lesser inelastic. Perfectly inelastic means whatever changes in price take place, nothing will happen to the quantity of demand. We say it is inelastic. So these are the 5 kinds of elasticity of demand. Let us see through a graph here. Here, when the demand for a product changes or increases, it decreases, or even there is no change in the price, it's known as perfect elastic demand. What do you mean by this? See, here irrespective of the price, that means the price, let us say, is here.
back. Yeah, pen. Red color.
Yeah, if you look here, there is the price get stuck here, and suppose the price is increased. When the price is increased from here, let us call it as P1 to P2. When there is a change in the price, is there any change in the demand? there is nothing. However, irrespective of the price, demand is increasing and increasing. So the demand increase is beyond the price changes. When there is no change in the price, still there is an increase in the demand. We call this as a perfect elastic. A perfect elastic is only a myth. You forget about it. So if you take that into account, then you find that take this you will understand better. Suppose the price is here. Suppose the price is here, P1. Suppose the price is here. From here we draw a perpendicular to the x-axis. On the demand side, on the x-axis, I am showing the quantity demanded, and on the y-axis, I am showing the price. Suppose the price is at P1, original price. I decrease the price to P2. When I decrease the price to P2, you find that the quantity demanded has gone up from M1 to M2. The proportion of change in the price has impacted on the quantity demanded in such a way that the quantity demanded is extraordinarily increased for a given small change in the price. Whereas in earlier case it was not so. Here you find the proportion change in the price has brought a big change in the quantity demanded. We call this as relatively elastic demand curve. Next please. What we do? We look to the next picture. You find here. Here the price elasticity of demand is equal to utility or unitary. What do you mean by unitary? The ratio, proportion of change is equal to the proportion of changes in the price. That means at this stage, let us say I have changed the price. Let us say P1 is my change. From P1 I changed it to P2. Then you find that from there I draw a perpendicular here and I change the price here in such a way that from P1 I changed it to P2. From M1 it has gone to M2. The proportion of change in the price and proportion of change in the quantity demanded is same. Same is the case you take next. From P2, let us say we changed it to P3. P3. Maybe my drawing is poor, but the change in the price and change in the quantity demanded will be same. So the proportion of change in the price as a dependent variable and the change in the price in the independent variable of price and change in the price quantity demanded will be same. That is called unity or it is same. So this is how it happens in case of unitary demand. Then if you look to the relative price inelastic, relative inelastic demand, here you find the change in the proportion will be totally different. Suppose the price change is here. Suppose this is P1. From here it has gone to here, P2. The change in the price is significant. Change in the price is significant, whereas the quantity demanded, the change is less. So the independent variable has fallen very high, whereas the change in increase in the demand is very less. We say this is inelastic. Anywhere you take, this is a line you find. This is called relatively inelastic. So when you go for the next, you find that when it is perfectly inelastic, 100% inelastic, whatever may be the price changes, your quantity demanded will not change at all. So this is called perfectly inelastic. So like that, if I show all the curves at a point, you find perfect elastic and perfect inelastic, and you find that this is the relatively elastic because it is D2, and you find D3 relatively unitary. That means proportion of change will be same anywhere you draw. From there, if you draw, anywhere you draw from here, the change in P1 to P2, let us say, you find that the change in the price and change in the quantity will be same. This is what we call it as change. Whereas if you take slightly D4, it will be totally different, in a relatively inelastic, and this is perfectly inelastic. So all curves are shown at one place we have shown. So this is another kind of elasticity of demand. How do you measure this elasticity? That is very important.